Hey guys, it's Ariana from Viesca. If you're new here, welcome. I talk all about stocks, real estate, and just entrepreneurship in general. In today's video, we'll be talking about how I passed my real estate exam on the very first try. If you guys want to learn more about me, check out my socials. They will all be linked in the description. I will also have a link to my website where you can purchase one-on-one Zoom meetings with me. And on top of that, I also have a $5 checklist. It takes you step by step through the entire process of getting your real estate license, as well as a bunch of helpful links, websites, YouTube videos, and images of my notes. But that's pretty much it for the intro. Let's get started. Alright, so let's go through the very first step, which is that I started my real estate courses on realestateexpress.com. If you guys want a more in-depth video on how I would structure and organize my study sessions on Real Estate Express, check out this video right here. I'll put the link to it right here. Basically, in California, you have to take a total of 150 hours worth of courses to be able to take your real estate exam. These 150-hour courses for me consisted of real estate principles, real estate practice, and real estate aspects of law. Principles and practice are the two required in California. Your third course can be chosen from this list right here. I started my courses in October of 2021. They were honestly not difficult at all. I would say real estate principles was the most difficult one just because it was like super heavy on the material, and it was also the first course I ever took. Like, I didn't really know what to expect, but I'm super glad it is required to start with real estate principles, because as you continue with real estate practice and aspects of law, literally 90% of what you see is repetition of real estate principles. So like I said, real estate principles was the heaviest course. It had a total of like 31 chapters. I was doing about 1 to 2 chapters a day, and I completed principles in 1 month. But just so you all know, I was going heavy on the studying. Each chapter is kind of like a slideshow of like written information. There's bolded text and pictures, so it's super simple and honestly kind of boring. It's literally like going through an online PDF. So what I would do is I would grab a notebook and just take notes of anything I feel is important. Once you're done with the chapter, you have to take the chapter final exam. This exam consists of like 10 to 20 questions. And then once you're done with the entire course, you have to take the actual final exam, which that one is, I think, 100 questions. I'm not sure. So for the chapter final exams, the ones that are 10 to 20 questions, you can take those up to 2 times. And you have to get an 80% or higher to pass on to the next chapter. All in all though, the courses are super easy. Don't really stress about them. Like, they're literally just a requirement for you to be able to take the exam, to be able to schedule the exam. I would say the courses are not the only thing you need to focus on in order to pass the exam. I will talk about the real stuff that really helped me prepare in a bit. But anyways, real estate practice took me about 2 weeks to complete it, and then real estate aspects of law also took me about 2 weeks. I would say probably less than 2 weeks, maybe like a week and a half. I started my courses on October 13 of 2021, and I completed them in January 13 of 2021. So exactly like 3 months of a difference. Now let's get into step 2, which is the real stuff. This is what's actually going to prepare you for the exam. This is the part where you actually study. I couldn't schedule my exam until I turned 18 in February 2nd. So in the meantime, I just went ahead and purchased the exam prep CompuCram.com. I highly recommend it. Like, this is the only thing you really need to prepare yourself for the exam. For me, it was like $70. They have exam preps for like all the states in the US, and if not, there's also like a national exam prep. I will also have a referral link below in the description for 10% off. So this is kind of how it works. This is my favorite part. It has a ready meter. It's basically like a meter that tells you how ready you are for the exam. It starts all the way to the left, obviously, and finishes off in the green once you're ready. Before you ever start the exam prep though, you have a self-assessment exam that basically is just about 50 questions, and it's just so CompuCram understands how much you need to study, or like what sections of the real estate exam you're very strong in. This entire exam prep goes over the vocab on the test, which is the #1 thing that you should be focusing on when you're studying. Once you understand the vocabulary and know how to apply it, you'll be able to really paint the picture of like what the question is trying to ask you when you are taking the real real estate exam. This exam prep basically organizes what you have to learn in sections. It is the same way that the actual exam is organized. So you're going to have a section on property ownership and land use control regulation, laws of agency, valuation and market analysis, financing, transfer of property, practice of real estate and mandated disclosures, and contracts. So each section first has you master the vocab by providing you various practice exercises like matching flashcards, flipping through flashcards, and filling in the blank. After you're done mastering the vocab, you can take the practice test on that specific section. You can take as many practice tests as you want. For each practice test, there's like 20 questions. Once CompuCram believes you have completed this section, which is basically when you already studied the vocab through the flashcards, through the filling the blanks, and the matching, and that you also took a lot of practice exams, it'll show you with a blue bar, like a blue bar all the way filled up, that you're good to go on to the next section. Then once you're done with all the sections, at the very end you can finally take the simulated exams. So again, there's no limits to like how many simulated exams you can take, but basically these are like the real deal. This is a 150 question test, just like the California real estate exam, and it has questions that covers all of the exam sections that you went through while you were studying. Don't tell anyone this, but some of the questions that I saw in CompuCram were really similar to the actual real estate exam. So just know CompuCram will really prepare you. I took the simulated exams a couple times, like a lot of times, until I continued to get 90% or higher for my score. The first time I took it, I think I got like 70%. So while taking these practice exams, what I would do is I would mark for review every single question that I either got wrong or I just didn't know the answer to. You know, I was like kind of iffy about. And then once I was done with the exam, with the simulated exam, I would open up a Google Doc and just copy and paste the question and the answer of the one that I got wrong or just didn't know. And then on top of that, I would highlight the text and add a comment, because Google Docs gives you an option like at the top where it says like comment. And I would basically just comment explaining why I got it wrong and why the answer that is correct is right. That right there really helped me understand like the conceptual part of each question, because that's really what the test is all about. Is just like the material isn't hard. It's not hard to just remember the vocab. What's hard is actually applying it in a conceptual way, how they present every question. Like they're not going to be straightforward on how they ask it. Like they're not going to ask you what is a trust deed. They're gonna ask you like, John decided to transfer their title and this and what will they need to show security of the transfer, you know? So now let's talk about step 3, which is to actually schedule your exam. I scheduled my exam on February 12th, which was like 10 days after my birthday. Remember, you have to get your fingerprints done before you schedule your exam. So the form that you have to take to get your fingerprints looks like this. You just have to go to your local post office, take the form, and they do it there. For me, it was about $20 for like the actual service of the post office. Once you have your fingerprints done though, you can use the e-licensing feature on the California Department of Real Estate website. From there, you just wait for an email back for your exam date. This is how my email looked like when I got my exam date. I waited about like 7 weeks until I received this email. They basically just state that, you know, the application has been processed, it's been accepted, and all you have to do now is just choose your exam date. Step number 4 is like the day of the exam or like 2 weeks before taking the exam. This is where you're gonna go hardcore study mode. Like this is where you grab everything you learn and you just dump it all in your brain, leave it there until, you know, after the day of the exam or whatever. So I just focused on taking a bunch of practice exams on CompuCram 2 weeks before the actual exam. I also started using this app right here. It's called Real Estate for Dummies. It gives you 10 free questions every single day to take as like a practice exam. On top of that, I was also watching Prep Agent Joe on YouTube. This is key. Like, you need to watch Prep Agent Joe in order to pass. Honestly, I don't recommend you spending money on his like practice exams or whatever. Honestly, like CompuCram already has everything you need. Take advantage of like the free webinars that he has on YouTube, where he's like interviewing other people on what they know. Those are the ones that I would watch, and then I would just take notes on those webinars. Here's like a little example of how I would take my notes. So then the day of the exam came around and I just got all my documents and my ID card ready. I played Prep Agent Joe one last time in the background while I was getting ready, took some notes and took my final practice exam, and then I left to the Sacramento office to take my real estate exam. My final tips right here though. If you listen to this, you know, if you made it this far, just want to say congrats. I really think you'll pass. Like, just put in the work and trust me, it will come. The day that I took my exam felt so surreal. Like, I was so nervous. This is one of the biggest deals, like the biggest events of my entire life, of my entire 18 years of living. And that morning I just felt like a super strong feeling of appreciation of all my hard work. When I was little, I met a realtor that helped my parents buy my childhood home, and ever since then I fell in love with the business of real estate. It's so awesome to have someone so knowledgeable to help you through one of the biggest purchases of your life. Like, this is one of the biggest transactions that any family will ever go through. You know, it's a house. This is where their kids will grow up in, and it's super memorable. My parents would tell me that after those days where, you know, you were with the realtor, I would play pretend and act as if I was the realtor. So now I'm 18, and you know, I made sure I got those dreams done, got it all accomplished. Little check mark of things I wanted to do before I die or whatever. So yeah, I just really hope you guys understand that the preparation for the exam is gonna be hard. Like, nothing is easy in life. Nothing is easy. There will always be some type of hardship, but trust me, it will pay off. All you really have to do through the hard times is change your perception. My biggest tip to you is to just enjoy the journey. Like, enjoy it all, even through the hardships. Romanticize the process because it's beautiful. You get to learn so much more about your potential, your passions, and just who you are as a person. Do things to make the process more fun. Do things to make studying more fun. For example, I would take myself out on like little coffee dates to Starbucks or like a cute coffee shop in my city. I would basically just make sure I avoid studying in my room because it can get very repetitive, boring, and stressful, especially because I was studying like literally every single day. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. But yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck. I know you're gonna do amazing on the exam. If you have any questions ever, drop them in the comments or feel free to DM me or email me. All my information will be linked in the description. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye.